Holmes, are you deliberately trying to stop me solving this mystery?
No, certainly not. It's infernally noisy here. Let's see what other delights Falworth Village has to offer. Oh, that's better.
Cooler, certainly.
Yes. Thickness of the walls. Norman's built to last. Not too cold for you.
No.
Yeah, good.
What a splendid window.
Yeah. Miss Maud Bellamy was wide-eyed and intense. I know that Fitzroy is dead. Don't be afraid to tell me the details.
Remarkable composure.
Yes, indeed.
Who told her the full story? You or Stackhurst?
Stackhurst.
And I imagine she took it well.
Extremely well. When Stackhurst had finished, she turned to me. It seemed that she knew who I was.
Prize of fame. What did she say?
Mr. Holmes, you have my sympathy and my help. Bring them to justice, whoever they may be.
Them? Why did she say that?
My question exactly. Sir, Fitzroy Macpherson was a brave and strong man. No single person could have done this to him.
The note in the dead man's pocket?
Yes, I asked her about it.
What did it mean?
I see no reason for any more mystery, Mr. Holmes. We were engaged to be married.
Why did you keep it a secret, Miss Bellamy?
Because Fitzroy stood to be disinherited if he married against his family's wish.
Well, why not tell your father and your brother?
My life is my own. I would have told them if they'd ever shown the slightest sympathy.
I will be there, you may be sure. Where, Miss Bellamy?
There was a place on the beach where we used to meet.
And when?
Just after sunset tonight. Any more questions?
Did she know if Macpherson had any enemies?
None in the world.
And yourself? Is there anyone who would want to harm you?
No one.
Anyone who might be jealous of your fiancée? Have you had any previous admirers?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Several.
Including Mr. Ian Murdoch.
There was a time when I thought so.
Was there indeed? I can't think of anything else. Have I missed anything that you asked?
Not a thing. Bravo.
Thank you. I'm not sure he's got me anywhere.
There is one thing I haven't told you yet.
To do with Miss Bellamy?
Most definitely. You remember her words at the beginning of the interview?
You mean about bringing them to justice?
Whoever they might be, yes. As she said that, it seemed to me that she looked straight at her father and her brother.
3:45. On to the next place?
There isn't one.
We're staying in Falworth?
That's not what I meant. You're now in possession of practically all the facts.
Practically all? What about the findings of the inquest?
It was adjourned for further evidence.
What will you have done? You examined the beach again?
But with no more success than the first time.
The dead man's room at the school?
Nothing.
Then you would have gone over the whole case and tried the old eliminate the impossible approach.
Be my guest.
Right. The facts first, then. A popular and talented young man sets off as usual for his morning swim. Did he always go alone, by the way?
I asked Stackhurst that very question. No, he didn't. Quite the contrary. A few of the students almost always went with him.
Did they indeed? What happened that morning?
Ian Murdoch set them a maths test before breakfast.
Now, that's downright suspicious.
I thought so. Carry on.
Macpherson gets to the beach, prepares for his swim, but before he can get into the water, he's savagely attacked with some sort of flail or whip.
Look at these. Yes, photographs of the wounds.
Good God. That's inhuman. Why didn't you show me these earlier?
Because I didn't get them myself until this stage of the investigation. I hadn't seen the wounds in this much detail until now.
Right. These lacerations are remarkably thin.
Yes.
As if they were made with very fine wires. Do you have your lens with you?
Yes, here.
Thank you. Now, these wounds aren't even. There are dots of blood spaced all along them. A very fine cat o' nine tails? It's devilish, whatever it was. After all these years, I still find it hard to believe that one human being can do something like that to another.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
That's true, I suppose. Cynical, but true. Suppose Murdoch set his test, then hurried out to the beach. No, Stackhurst would have seen him. Is there another route?
Yes, another path down the cliff nearer the school and then along the beach.
So, he sets his test, rushes out unseen, gets to the lagoon, and attacks Macpherson. Then he hides in one of the grottos in the cliff face until he can slip away.
I thought you decided that he had no reason to hide.
Because the top of the cliff isn't visible from the beach, yes. Perhaps he's just afraid that there might be someone about. Criminals are cowards, superstitious. It's not very convincing. What about other possible murderers? The Bellamys, I suppose, father and son. I don't really believe it. A man with money and local influence doesn't need to resort to murder just to get rid of an unwelcome lover. Could you have been mistaken about that, Clarence?
Yes, I could.
Eliminate the impossible.
Time to give you the next developments, I think.
I'm listening.
Macpherson's dog was found dead on the beach at the very place where his master died.
His dog? Did you examine it?
Shortly after it was found, the body was stiff and his eyes were bulging. There was agony in every line of it.
Killed by the murderer, but why, for God's sake?
Some sort of revenge. I didn't know.
You said developments, plural.
I think it's only fair to tell you that I had the first glimmerings of an idea about then.
May I ask what sort of glimmerings, or would that be cheating?
It was something I couldn't quite put my finger on. Have you ever had one of those nightmares where you feel that there's some all-important thing? You search for it, you know it's there, but you don't know exactly what it is, and it's always just out of your reach. That's how I felt.
Yes, I know what you mean. The harder you try, the more elusive it gets.
Yes, precisely.
The best solution is to give up the struggle. Let it surface in its own good time.
Well put.
Eliminate the impossible. What were the other developments?
There was just one. Someone else was attacked, exactly as Macpherson had been. Ian Murdoch.
Murdoch too? Yes. Yes. What exactly happened?
I was at home. He burst into my sitting room with Stackhurst close behind him. He'd found Murdoch down on the beach.
The same spot?
Almost exactly. Murdoch's shoulder was marked with the same wounds, and he was in agony.
Brandy to deaden the pain, something soothing on the cuts. Did you have any cream, soft butter, something like that?
Salad oil.
Yes, that would have done it a pinch.
It seemed to help. Murdoch was already half in a faint, and the brandy put him right out. We sent word for a doctor, and while we were waiting, Stackhurst told me what had happened. Well, Holmes, I was walking...
Wait. Let me see if I'm right. No, let me ask you this first. What was Murdoch wearing?
A bathing costume covered by his coat.
Yes. And Stackhurst found him at the very edge of the lagoon. He'd been swimming.
Bravo, Doctor.
I've another question.
I rather thought you might have.
What you found, Macpherson? You said he was naked from the waist up.
I did.
Describe his trousers.
Grey wool.
Oh, damn it, Holmes, you know what I mean.
Clumsily fastened, somewhat crumpled.
You might have told me that at the very beginning.
I didn't realize the importance of it myself until considerably later.
And his hair? What about his hair?
I rather think you can answer that yourself.
He was in the habit of anointing it with oil, slicking it down close to his scalp.
Absolutely correct. Do you have the solution?
Not all of it. Not yet. Did you, at that stage?
Yes, but I had a distinct advantage not available to you.
You were in your own home.
I was.
With your own books.
With my own books.
And you've always been quite a collector of books. Every subject under the sun.
I'm an omnivorous reader.
It was something you'd read. The thing you couldn't recall. It was something you'd read in your own library, so you were able to find it again. Or did you just remember it out of the blue?
As you said, it, surfaced. Home.
Home.
Watson? Yes? Well done!
Now, which one?
Would you like me to show you?
No. Just give me a moment. Damn. But I'm close. I must be close.
Extremely.
Then, here we are.
Yes, show me.
Out of Doors, by J.G. Wood.
The famous Observer.
That's high praise coming from you.
Never read it.
No, but you have, and recently too. There's a clear fingerprint in the dust along the top, you see?
Seems I must speak to Martha about her standards of cleanliness.
You're changing the subject. Now I know I'm right.
Well, aren't you going to look inside?
Not yet. I rather think that this is that moment in the spotlight you promised me. I want to enjoy it.
You deserve it. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Now, the most important clues were the dead man's trousers and the oil on his hair.
But why, Holmes? I mean, what's...
Together with the unusually high temperature that day, even before breakfast. When you found the body, you were too distracted to realize the significance of the trousers, but you couldn't have missed noticing it if the man was soaking wet.
He wasn't.
And so you concluded that he hadn't got as far as going for his swim. But you were wrong. The early morning sun had dried his body, and the oil prevented his hair from getting wet. The trousers
puzzled me.
But you said it yourself. Macpherson was an old-fashioned, withdrawn, very proper sort of man.
Well, even so.
Perhaps I've had more experience of it than you. It may be hard to accept, but it's true. Even if the body's in terrible agony, there's a part of the brain that concerns itself with the most ordinary, mundane, everyday thoughts, such as not leaving a secluded bathing beach and going into a public place without first making oneself decent.
I was forced to accept it, in the end.
What it all adds up to is this. He wasn't attacked before he took his swim. He was attacked during it. And the same was true of Ian Murdoch, and even the wretched dog. And what's more, it wasn't murder. Am I right?
Absolutely right.
Does this book have an index?
The page you want is 73.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Behold! The lion's mane!
You enjoyed the weekend, I hope.
Enormously. I hope we can do it again sometime.
Yes, I hope so.
Sometime soon, Holmes.
I can't promise you another murder.
You didn't give me one this time.
Don't be pedantic.
Not pedantic. Accurate. Did you?
Did I what?
Enjoy the weekend. Or will you be glad to get back to your peace and quiet?
Ah, stand back.
Right.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Oh, here.
What is it?
Something to read on the journey.
Thank you.
Goodbye, Watson.
Goodbye.
Start on page 12.
Right. Goodbye. See you soon. The Adventure of the Lion's Mane by Sherlock Holmes. Page 12. I led the way along the beach, peering eagerly into the waters. I had reached the deepest and stillest part of the lagoon when my eyes caught it. Cyanea, I cried. Cyanea. Behold, the lion's mane.
The strange object did indeed look like a tangled mass torn from the mane of a lion. It lay some 3 feet under the water, a curious, waving, vibrating, hairy creature with streaks of silver among its yellow tresses. It pulsated with a slow, heavy dilation and contraction. Cyanea capillata is the miscreant's full name, gentlemen. The gale must have blown him into the shore. As dangerous as the bite of the cobra, and far more painful. The most deadly of all the jellyfish. The constable stared at me in silence. "Well, you've done it," he said at last. "I'd read about you, but I never believed it. It's wonderful." I was forced to shake my head. To accept such praise was to lower one's standards.
Really, Holmes. Couldn't you come up with a better ending than that?
In The Lion's Mane, Sherlock Holmes was played by Clive Merrison and Dr. Watson by Michael Williams. The violinist was Leonard Friedman. The Lion's Mane was dramatized for radio by Bert Coules and directed by Patrick Rayner.